Well, good morning everybody and welcome to the Wisconsin Deep Freeze. It is freezing cold. It is sub-zero cold. It is so cold that I have not gone out of the house all weekend long, and I will not go out of the house until I have to for work. It is cold. Last night it was, I think, negative, and it could be wherever you are. It's all a bit different variation or whatever you listen to, but I took my old-fashioned vintage thermometer, sat it outside and looked at it this morning. When I looked at it this morning, it was already mid-morning. It was already like 10 o'clock, and at that time it was negative 15. Yeah, and it's been warming up a little bit, pushing to zero, but and then the wind chill advisories for last night were like negative 40 and 50. You know, if the wind's blowing, then it feels colder. It's so cold here in Wisconsin. How cold is it? It's so cold in Wisconsin. If you go outside for 10 minutes, you can get frostbite. Anything that's exposed because of the wind chill factors and how cold it is. If you're out there, you can come back and get a little bit of frostbite. So I'm not going outside. The only thing I'm going outside for is we went out Friday night for a little dinner just to get out of the house. And Friday wasn't so bad. It wasn't the sub-zero below wind chill. It was hovering around zero, so it wasn't as bad. So I said, let's get out of the house just for a little dinner. We went over to Fiesta Cancun, my new favorite restaurant. I love going over there. It's so festive and you feel like you're on a little mini tropical Mexican vacation, so I just love it. My husband hadn't been over there yet, so that's what we did Friday night for a little bit of tropical feel. And that was it. I didn't even go shopping this weekend. I didn't go anywhere else. I guess to go outside and start your vehicles, because I did that, was it last weekend? It was cold, but not this cold last weekend. And I didn't start my car for like a day and a half. You know, used it Saturday shopping and whatever, and then Sunday didn't run it, and then went to pop it over in the morning, and it barely turned over to start, because we park all our vehicles outside, my son Seth and mine and my husband's, because our garage is so full of stuff that there is no room for a vehicle in there anyway. And even if we had it pretty well cleaned up, which is always the goal every summer, there still wouldn't be room except for like my husband's little, he has a little Aveo car. It's the only one that would fit in there anyway, because it's only big enough for a vehicle and not like, you know, I have a great big long huge Suburban, and we've got a freezer in there and we've got a lawnmower in there, and what don't we have in our garage? I always get all gung-ho and I get halfway done with my garage project, and that's as far as I get. Maybe this will be the year I get motivated to get it done, because some of it is stuff that just needs, honestly, just to be pitched out. Some of it's like, oh, what do I do with it, because I don't want to quite get rid of it. And it's pretty whittled down now. I have a couple pieces of old furniture that was my grandparents that I like don't want to get rid of, but they're not like really even nice pieces of furniture. It's an old kitchen table, but it's got a story. My grandpa and grandma's farmhouse burnt down, and this was the first piece of furniture that my mother purchased for them for their new house after. And it's not an expensive table. It was just a plywood table that's been revarnished and restained. It's not even like a nice veneer table, but can't get rid of it because it was the story attached to it. It's like everything I have. I can't get rid of it because it's got a story attached. And I'm the bad person because I'm the one who is attaching the stories to these items. So anywho, that's the summer. That's far, far away. But you know, you're thinking of summer. You're thinking about anything. We're starting to get all the postings up for the Vintage Camp Rally, which is in June. It's the first annual. It's going to coincide with the old car show, which is, this will be the second year for that. And the lady down at the campground wanted to organize it, so there's a vintage car show that Saturday, and we always go down there. We know her from the campground in Hay Creek that we go all the time. She said, hey, would you be interested in, I'll do most of the organizing if you want to just notify, because I belong to a Minnesota Glampers and Campers. It's like a Facebook page, you know, but you have to be, it's not like open to anybody. You have to, like, because they don't want it open to whoever, you know. I don't know, they don't do background checks or anything, but they don't want it, because if you're going on a great big group event, they want the people that are members to know, but they don't want it like open to any Tom, Dick, or Harry to know that, hey, look, there's these 20 people that live here, 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 and here that are gone. So it's a closed group, but they're very generous and let whoever come in pretty much, you know. If you're in the guidelines, or if you it's kind of almost not a referral, friend of a friend, or they kind of, I suppose they kind of check you out a little bit on your Facebook stuff too to see who you're all about, because you don't want to say anybody. So anyway, thinking of that, and we got the postings up for that event, and it kind of got discombobulated or whatever, because I thought we were going to be in one part of the park, and then it ends up that we're in another part, but that part might not be conducive to some of the people that are in the vintage rally, because it's right next to where the car show is going to be, which is fine, but it's also right next to the field where there's going to be bands at night and whatever. So I don't know. So we have two different sites, so two different areas kind of reserved until March 1st for whoever's going to do that. And there's other little events that I'm hoping we get to go to a couple with the, because I love seeing other people's campers too, because everybody loves them. So anyway, I'm hibernating. I'm not going anywhere. I'm not doing anything. The dogs, I tell you, you have to like force them to go out, and I don't blame them. It's freezing outside. You have to force them to get down the, because we have a great big sliding glass doors onto our deck that overlooks our backyard, to get them down and get down them steps, and you know, shut the door, and all of a sudden here you go. It's my older puppy's really good about going down. She's got to go. She's gonna go. That's what it is. But the little one, she doesn't like the cold, and she thinks she can hold it, and she'll come back up and not go, and then pretty soon you'll be seeing her. She'll run down to the front door, and like, you know, it's a universal sign. She'll run to the front door, even though we don't let them out the front door to go, that she's got to go potty. So then she'll run back and forth, and then you let her out the back, and then she won't go down. Anybody that has puppies, but poor little puppy dogs, the little pads of their feet, you know, it's like they're naked. They're naked on that. Making a nest again. It's cold. It's cold, and I don't blame them. I want to go out there barefoot and have to squat and be there, I guess. So we're not doing anything today. I'm just kind of rambling on. I got nothing really to specifically that I'm planning. We're not going anywhere. We're not doing anything. January is just kind of like that. People there in the football. It's a big playoffs and the big Super Bowl coming up. I don't know, I'll kind of watch if it's on, but I could really care less about football. Kind of grew up with it because, you know, my parents had a bar for years and years, and you kind of got into the sport because of that type of thing. You know, having great big parties and everybody get together, and we used to have like little house parties too, but if I don't get to see it, it's like, oh, what the score is, and I'm a Minnesota Viking fan living in Wisconsin, which is kind of perilous, not perilous, what's the word I'm looking for? Depressing, I guess, because most of the people I work with at my job are Packer fans. But in the last 3 or 4 years, we've gotten a few Viking fans, so I'm not alone, you know, taking the jabbing and the slight harassment from everybody about the Vikings. You always think, you know, I don't always think they're going to do good. I always know they're going to screw the pooch in the end, so I don't get my I don't get my hopes up. And it's great. It'd be nice if they could make it one year, but I don't think they've ever won a Super Bowl. I think the Packers have a couple, and the Vikings, they made it close, but they never quite get there. But it makes you tough being a Viking fan living in Wisconsin, I'll tell you that. So the only thing we got coming up is we have a coupon my cousin Christy gave me like 2 years ago for a free night at the Embassy Suites, which is a Hilton-owned line of hotels. I don't know if they're all over the United States. I know they're here, and I think they're kind of in the Midwest, but I don't know how. They might be all over the United States. I don't know. Maybe they're national. I'm not sure. Anyway, so she gave me this lovely coupon for a night's stay. So last year at this time we were going to use it, and we never got around to it, or somebody's schedule interfered and we couldn't go. So we're going to do it. I just checked, and there's openings in the one. We like to go to the one by the Mall of America. Just to bum around. We just do it to get out of the cold. Because what are you going to do? What you going to do? We're not going to go on a trip. We're not going to go, I'm not going to go walking in this. Forget that. So at least you can go up there for the day. And we're only going to take a day, and it's going to be me and my cousin Christy, and then my 2 sons. So then they can do their thing, and what we'll do is we'll get up there and get in. And sometimes you can check in early, sometimes not. And then we will take the little free shuttle that drives you over to the Mall of America. It's only like 2 miles away, but then you don't got to deal with your car and parking and all that business. And they pick you up, and then go over there, kind of bum around. And then what I love about the Embassy Suites is that they have what it's called the manager's reception or something like that. And for 2 hours in the evening, I think it's usually from 5 to 7 or something like that, they have free cocktails. It's a limited menu, but pretty much almost anything you'd want in beer and wine, and you can have mixed drinks, and not like fancy cocktails or go up there and ask for a sidecar. They'd probably look at you strange or something, but I think you can have like a kind of a Bloody Mary and kind of a margarita type thing. So that's free with your room. So there'll be 4 of us, so we're going to take some games up and hang out and have cocktails, and then after the cocktails, because we'll be full of cocktails, I know, We will play games. We'll bring card games or trivia games or our puzzles that we never forget out over the holiday season and do that, and then probably just go up and watch movies and stuff, and then get up. And at the Emma City also have this huge breakfast buffet. They have like a cereal station and a fruit station and yogurt station, and then made to order omelets and eggs, and it's just like huge. So we'll sleep in a little bit, and then we'll get up and have a great big lovely breakfast, and then head on home. So it's just a day trip, but you get to go bum around, look at the Mall of America. Might buy a little something. I'll take a little bit of money with me. I think they have a Betty Page store. It used to be Betty Page, now it's Tatiana, and I've always wanted to go there. I've never got there. Something's always come up or whatever, and I don't think I've been to the Mall of America, let me think, for like maybe 2 years or maybe 3 years I haven't been up there. I'm not a big mall shopper. I used to be in my day. I used to be a big mall shopper, not so much anymore. I don't need anything, but I like to go bum around and get a deal. Who doesn't like to get deals? So we're going to do that in 2 weeks. So I best get on that. And then me and my cousin Christy, if you remember one of my Chit Chat morning coffees, I had planned to go to Chicago with my husband last fall, and that kind of went down the toilet, and because of his work and hours and all this, and he just can't get away. He's pretty much running the business independently, and he does have a really good co-manager that works with him, and his father still does quite a bit. But for him to get away for a big hunk of time, it's almost too stressful to plan, try to go and come back for him. So my cousin Christy said, hey, I will go to Chicago with you. And I was thinking, somewhere tropical, but I thought, what, I want to go to Chicago. I want to get there. So right now there's a really super good deal. And watch, I'll go on there today and I'll bet you money it'll be gone. You snooze, you lose with some of those deals. You better book them if you see them, because I've gone back on 2 days later and they're completely gone, or they're sold out, or the price is jacked up $200, because this trip is in, I did put my vacation in for it, is in end of October. So we're going to try to coordinate it, because they have Oktoberfest stuff in Chicago, and it will be the weekend before Halloween, which will be super fun. And I'm thinking they're like most places that they celebrate the adult Halloween the Saturday before Halloween, because not very many people do it because it's on a Monday. Who's going to do that? Who's going to go on a Monday? Not us. So, anywho, I think we're going to try to get that, and then we can stay at the Congress, because there is rooms there yet. So that's what we're planning. When weather is bad like this, you plan for things where you can be mobile and do stuff. It doesn't matter. I start thinking about, well, Viva Las Vegas, that's coming up too. I know. So I do have some stuff. I'm not going to hibernate completely. I have the embassy, that will be fun, and then it will be the Minnesota Monthly little wine. It's not a festival. What's it called? Wine event, I guess. It's a wine tasting event up in the cities that will do that, and Viva will be here before you know it. So if you don't have something to look forward to, find something to look forward to, because sometimes it's the look forwarding it to whatever you're going to do that kind of gets you through the, weather like this, it's awful. I don't have much of anything to say. I'm just chit-chatting. But I'm going through the coffee today, for sure, because I like to just keep me warm. And I have been, if you have birds, please feed them if you're in the cold weather, because it's harder. It's not good for them either. I think they got their little feet, and they get cold just like the rest of us. And I see them out there, and they're doing this like up in the trees. I'll see probably 50 of them hanging out in my trees around where my rail is, because I don't have a bird feeder. I pour all my bird seed, I'm sure if you see some pictures of mine, right on the rail. It drives my son crazy, because he goes, Mom, you're wrecking the wood. And I'm like, if I need to replace that piece of wood, that's fine, because I like to have a great big long line of bird food, like probably 6 feet long or more. So more birds can come up, because some birds are bully birds and some are eating all the stuff, and the little birds can't get there. So then there's plenty of room for everybody, and nothing gives me more joy than when I have a whole line of birds on that long deck rail, because it's wide enough, so there's plenty of room for them to stand, and I will just sit there and watch my birds. I love my birds. I feel so bad for them, so keep feeding the birds. Sometimes we get so busy with doing stuff, but yeah, I think it's not that they can't find stuff. I mean, they can find some type of food out there, but when it's so cold, and I don't know, I'm sure they got some little nest or some little warm place or something that they huddle up in, but I think it just makes it easier on them that, like, hey, let's go over there to Mary's and see if she's got some food out, so it'll be just easier on us. You don't want to lose in those little birds. Just run there in the spring, and then they hang around. So anyway, that's all I'm doing. Nothing. I'm doing a lot of nothing. I'm hibernating today with my puppies. My puppies are slow going. I'm slow going. Just doing basic stuff today. And I got some of my Christmas stuff put away, and I was going to have my husband bring up the tubs, but it's so bitter, even in the garage. I just said forget it. It's just too cold. Big deal if it's sitting around. It's all sitting there. It's been sitting there for a week, and but I'm not going to make him go tote all those stupid totes upstairs and bring them up, and it's so bitter cold. Don't do anything. I mean, good for those people who get out and about, but it ain't gonna be me. I'm gonna stay in. I'm gonna do minimal and do just normal like house stuff and cleaning stuff and laundry and non eventful things. But that's what I'm doing. So wherever you are, please keep warm. Please make sure you watch out for your little puppy dog's feet, because it is cold out there. You know, it's just those little pads, and I know they do make those little booties for the puppies, but my puppies, and I guess if maybe you took them for walks with them on all the time, they get used to them. But when I've tried it with mine, they're like trying to get them off, and they don't know what's up, and they don't get their jobs that they need to get done when they're out there. So they just get there, get their jobs done, and get walked, because it doesn't take very long, and they can all injure the little bottoms of their feet. And make sure you feed the birds, because they need some extra. It makes it a little bit easier on them too. So everybody take care, keep warm wherever you are. Feel sorry for us in the cold weather if you're in the warm weather, and open that door, that window, and say, at least I'm not in that. So take care until we see you next time we have a little bit of coffee. We'll see you then. Bye, everybody.